Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm going into the question of identity again because if the Lord Chuku blesses you with a child, and every day you don't tell that child who that child is, that child will grow up not learning who he or she is. For 200 years, we had the misfortune of not being told systematically, deliberately who we are. Why? European colonialism destroyed our society. The Europeans imposed Christianity on the Igbos. And it's not the business of Christianity to tell the Igbo people that the Igbo people are the Israelites. So for 200 years, we were not told systematically that we were Israelites. And the European colonialists also forced us into a country which is 47% to 48% Muslim, and the Muslims happen to be the ruling class. So Nigeria became a country where Christianity and Islam are dominant. The Igbo religion was suppressed, so nobody was teaching the Igbos, this is who you are. But every now and then, a lone voice will rise, write, or say something, but it was not like there was an institution telling the Igbos, this is who you are. Compare and contrast with the situation of the Ashkenazi, the Sephardi, the Mizrahi Jews. They had Judaism telling them every day, you came from Israel. But in our own case, nobody told us deliberately. That is why a major part of my work is to keep on emphasizing this. Because we have never do wells, but 99% of the Igbo people are inherently good. And for those 99% of the people that are inherently good, even though misled, misguided, we will continue to do our best. If the Igbos wanted to appropriate an identity that is not their own, why not American? Why are the Igbos not saying that they are descendants of Americans? I mean, for God's sake, people have said worse. There are Igbos that have said that Igbo, which means Hebrew, means Igbo, when we all know that Igbo means ancient people. And these people that have said this have millions of followers. So if somebody becomes mad enough to start saying tomorrow that the Igbos are descendants of modern Americans, he will have followers. If Igbos begin to say that Igbos descended from the English, he will have followers. If Igbos begin, after all, some Igbos began to say they came from Benin because they forgot basic history. Benin was an empire. Many peoples, including the Igbos that lived to the west of the river Niger, lived near the empire Benin. Those Igbos began to say they came from Benin. And some that live on the borderlands with the north began to claim that they and the Gala are related, even though linguistically, culturally, the Igbos and the Galas are like this. But weird, all sorts of weird claims have been made. So why are the Igbos systematically saying, in spite of everything, why are the Igbos maintaining that they came from Israel? They are maintaining they came from Israel because they want to survive. As I started, and I will repeat again, the Israelite identity is not one of the sweetest identities one can claim. If you are Israelite, what are the advantages? You are held to a higher standard. When other peoples in the world would comfortably come under somebody and make him their king, the Israelites say, the Hebrews don't have kings, their king is God. In other words, everybody has to struggle for himself or herself. I take a look at our young women, young Igbo women, and I'm making a call now to the wealthy group in Igbo land, support these our young women. They finish universities. Of course, there is no employment. You see these young women struggling. Some sell fish, some sell clothes. I mean, support them. Find money and support them. And why do they do this? Because the Hebrews don't have kings. Their only king is God. So everybody has to do their best for themselves, while the other nations in the world have to come together, raise somebody to become their king and think for them and act for them and work for them. But in our own case, the only king is God. He works for us, we work for ourselves. There are people who are not familiar with Israelite culture, who thought that the Israelites were supposed to have kings. The Israelites were not supposed to have kings, for they were those servants of God that he brought out of Egypt to serve only himself. The Igbos did not begin to say Benweze by chance. They were simply repeating what their father, their God, told them. You are to serve nobody but Chukwu. So the Igbo said, we don't have kings. Our king is Chukwu. This is the fate of Israel. They are not supposed to serve human beings. Bring all this down to our omenana, the rituals. When we pray, we sit on chairs. We don't kneel down even before God because he's a partner. I don't kneel down before my father, but I owe him the total respect. So, I mean, others come under kings. Kings think for them, work for them. We work for ourselves as servants of Chukwu. So why would I want this identity if it's not my identity? It's easier to say that I came from England. It's easier. But no. As adults, as difficult as it has been, we survived because we are Israelites. That's the basic truth. We would have become a footnote in history. And I'm assuring everybody who is Israelite that listens to this, the future can become much more rosy. We will be honored if we acknowledge who we are and live by those traditions we find in authentic Menana and the Hebrew Bible. But we have to understand them first. The problem is that we don't understand much of what these two institutions are saying. We have to understand them first, and when we understand them and do them, our travails will cease. Our martyrdom, our suffering, what we have done for humanity, will be recognized. And on this I say, Shabbat Shalom to you. Thank you.